Using a fall restraint device from the moment you leave the ground to the moment you return to the ground is the single most important action you can take to prevent you from hitting the ground should you fall. The NBEF strongly recommends that the fall restraint system you choose to use is a full body harness that meets or exceeds industrial standards.
The National Bowhunter Education Foundation suggests that you contact your favorite Treestand manufacturer to purchase a full-body harness. Or you can call toll-free 1-888-689-8924 and purchase the NBEF-endorsed full-body harness. This harness is designed to be hunter-friendly and exceeds industrial standards. This harness features quiet-coated metal buckles, self-locking carabiners, and a lineman's style climbing belt. Making safety your first priority is a decision you can live with.
Tree stands offer you the hunting advantages of elevating your human form and scent above the level of most wildlife. However, elevated stands present you with potential risks that can result in serious injury or even death. So watch, listen, and learn about the important world of tree stand safety from your friends who care at the National Bowhunter Education Foundation and the Treestand Manufacturers Association. Now, here's Tim Poole, Executive Director of the National Bowhunter Education Foundation.
There are 16 million big game hunters throughout North America each year. Many of them choose to hunt from a tree stand. Here's a real scary statistic. 1 out of 3 hunters who choose to hunt from a tree stand will fall sometime during their hunting career. And if you aren't wearing a fall restraint device, you will hit the ground. Believe me, falling from a tree stand will cause serious injury or even death. The solution to prevent these tragic accidents is through good and sound tree stand safety education, but most importantly, the proper use of the safety equipment. If you really want to be a safe tree stand hunter, take the International Bowhunter Education Program that is offered throughout America and 13 other foreign countries. Watch, listen, and put to use what you learn. The life you save may very well be your own.
When selecting your manufactured tree stand, the NBEF recommends that for your safety, you only use equipment made and certified by members of the Tree Stand Manufacturers Association. To help ensure your safety, TMA member companies must submit their tree stands to quality testing at an independent laboratory to pass certification. Only tree stand related products that carry the TMA seal have been through this rigorous testing. But safely using a tree stand is your responsibility. Anytime you climb or use a tree stand, serious or fatal injuries can result from falling. You could fall from carelessly relying on tree branches for support, losing your balance while climbing, or you could fall asleep and fall from the tree stand. You could also fall from not using your equipment properly, selecting an unsuitable tree, or from not using your fall restraint system properly. Selecting your tree stand is one of the most important tree stand decisions you'll ever make. Understand that different tree stands and climbing devices have different applications and operating procedures. Read the tree stand literature and instructions. Watch tree stand videos such as this, and talk with experienced tree stand representatives before buying. And when making your selection, carefully match your tree stand equipment to your intended hunting use. Be sure to consult your local hunting regulations to be sure which systems conform to your selected season and hunting area. Never climb or hunt from homemade wooden steps or platforms. Nails rust, wood rots, and the movement and growth of the tree will weaken the platform. Each year, hunters die from falls from homemade wooden steps and platforms that collapse. Use only TMA tested and approved manufactured tree stands. Tree stand safety begins with the complete tree stand safety system. This system typically includes a fall restraint device, a climbing device, a tree stand, and finally, your thorough knowledge about properly using your systems. Your first step in tree stand safety is to carefully read and follow all of your manufacturer's instructions, both outside and inside the box. Know and obey the specific tree stand weight capacity and functional limitations. After you're familiar with the stand's instructions, practice with each component of your tree stand safety system at ground level, using a tree in your yard or a nearby forest. Complete your ground training by actually installing and using your system, including the fall restraint device that came with your stand. Becoming completely familiar with your tree stand now is crucial to safe tree stand hunting. Many hunters enter and leave the woods during low-light situations. It's a good idea to use a flashlight or other identifying light for your safety under these conditions. Now it's time to head for the woods and select the right tree. Avoid unsafe trees that are leaning, trees that are dead or dying, or trees with excessive vines or limbs. Also avoid trees that are too narrow or large that will not allow you to use your equipment properly. And don't use trees that have either icy, wet, slippery, loose, or scaly bark. Now there's a perfect-looking tree. Let's join this father and son on their first tree stand hunt together.
Here comes a deer. I got one.
A bowhunter. A bowhunter.
Yeah.
You're a bowhunter.
Can't believe I got one.
Well, no wonder. How old are you?
Research among tree stand hunters has revealed that 1 in 3 will fall during the course of their hunting career. Falling is the greatest risk to hunters using elevated stands. In over 80% of the falls, the hunter failed to wear and use a fall restraint device. Many of these falls result in serious injury or even death. You can better these odds by following safe tree stand hunting practices.
Using a fall restraint device from the moment you leave the ground to the moment you return to the ground is the single most important action you can take to prevent you from hitting the ground should you fall. The NBEF strongly recommends that the fall restraint system you choose to use is a full body harness that meets or exceeds industrial standards.
Fall restraint devices come in 3 basic types: single strap chest belt, chest harness, and full body harness. All must be used with a short tether line that connects your fall restraint device to the tree. Worn properly, none of the restraint designs will interfere with your hunt. Yet they will each prevent you from hitting the ground if you fall. But they can only save you from hitting the ground if you're smart and wear one. Never use a rope, line, safety belt, or harness that is not specifically designed for fall protection use. And never wear a single belt system around your waist. When using the fall restraint system that came with your tree stand, be sure to follow your manufacturer's instructions. If you're unsure about its condition or proper use, call the manufacturer before using. If worn properly, the fall restraint device will stop you from hitting the ground and not allow you to fall below the level of your seat or platform. Chest belts and chest harnesses are commonly used for fall restraint. The NBEF acknowledges that these two types of fall restraint systems may currently be provided with many tree stands, and therefore offers the following recommendations. These chest fall restraint systems are not the preferred NBEF fall restraint, but if used properly, they may prevent you from falling below the level of your seat or platform. If the user chooses to use the chest belt type of fall restraint device, it must be worn snugly around the chest, just under the armpits, not around your waist. The chest harness type buckles at the front of your chest and straps go over your shoulders. The tether line for each must be attached to the tree at or above head level and be adjusted so there's no slack in the tether line when the hunter is seated in the stand. You must become familiar with the physical stress and physical limitations associated with hanging from these models of fall restraint before using them in the field. The stress and pressures associated with both types is similar and significant. Make certain that you test the chest belt and chest harness at home at ground level. With an able-bodied adult standing by, attach the tether at head height and gently flex your knees in order to feel the restrictions and stresses associated with hanging from these types of fall restraint systems. If you consider the stress excessive, we recommend that you purchase and use a full body harness. Although these devices are designed to keep you from hitting the ground, the physical stress on the upper body associated with hanging suspended from a properly worn chest belt or chest harness may restrict arm movement, interfere with breathing, and can lead to unconsciousness in a matter of minutes, followed by death. If you fall while wearing a chest-type fall restraint device, it is critically important that you climb back onto your stand or climbing system immediately to relieve the stress and pressure. When worn improperly around the waist, the chest belt can be deadly. A fall while wearing a belt around the waist may cause the hunter to turn upside down, may cause damage to internal organs, and interrupt your ability to breathe. This can lead to unconsciousness in less than a minute, quickly followed by death. Never wear a single strap chest belt around your waist. A full body harness that meets industrial standards provides you the maximum amount of protection in a fall restraint system. When worn properly, it allows your weight to be supported in an upright position by your legs and buttocks and does not significantly restrict breathing or arm movement. It is critical that the connecting tether be attached so there is no slack when the hunter is in the sitting position. Although a full body harness affords the best protection against injury associated with falling, the physical stress of hanging even from a full body harness can lead to unconsciousness in as little as 15 minutes. If you fall, climb immediately back onto the stand or climbing device. Before using a full body harness in the field, conduct the following test with an able-bodied adult standing by. Attach the tether at head level while standing on the ground and flex your knees to feel the pressures associated with hanging from a full body harness. The full body harness is recommended by the NBEF because it offers the user the least amount of stress and because it provides the user the maximum opportunity to safely climb back onto the stand platform or climbing system should you fall. If you do fall, the 3 types of fall restraint devices, when properly worn, are designed to prevent you from hitting the ground. Each is designed to provide you the opportunity to return to your climbing system or tree stand. When installed and used properly, you should not fall below the seat level of your stand. It's your responsibility to follow the manufacturer's instructions and to use the stand and fall restraint device correctly to prevent being seriously injured or dying. We had an engineer do the math so you can understand the importance of having absolutely no slack in the tether line. Remember, the tether line must be attached to the tree at or above head level. If a 200-pound person falls with just 3 feet of slack in the tether line, the force the body absorbs when hitting the end of the tether line is 1,700 pounds. This is enough force to break ribs and cause serious or fatal internal injuries. Research reveals that most falls occur while either setting up or taking down a tree stand, or while the hunter is getting into or out of the stand. You can eliminate this risk by wearing and attaching your fall restraint device from the moment you leave the ground until you return to the ground. If you're wearing your fall restraint system properly, you'll be able to concentrate on making the shot when it counts. Now, let's review your climbing system. For your safety, the National Bowhunter Education Foundation recommends that you only use TMA-certified climbing devices. If you choose to use screw-in steps, use them with extra caution. Never use nailed or wooden steps or household step ladders. And whatever climbing system you choose to use, always wear a fall restraint device that allows you to tether yourself to the tree as you climb. Although screw-in tree steps are popular in some areas, they present some serious potential hazards that can be avoided. Install the steps with a uniform step span of about 12 to 15 inches apart. Longer spans can cause the step to rotate away from your foot, jeopardizing your balance. Secondly, screw-in step threads grip the wood of some trees better than others. Thick-barked trees are especially dangerous because the bark may prevent the screw-in threads from solidly gripping the heartwood. Thirdly, the design of most screw-in steps creates a levering action when you climb. If the step is not screwed in completely, the leverage pressure may pull the threads out of the tree. Never install a screw-in step into an old or pre-existing hole. Although it may screw in easily, the step may pull out. Finally, place the screw-in tree steps to each side of the tree in relation to your climbing path, so that if you do slip, you reduce the risk of injuring or impaling yourself on a step. Strap-on steps are an alternative to screw-in steps. These also must be used with caution. The strapping can shift or loosen with use. Be sure the cord or strap is extremely secure to reduce the risk of having the step rotate away from your hand or foot. Use strap-on steps with caution. Safer alternatives to individual screw-in or strap-on steps are ladder climbing systems. These ladders can be taken to the woods as segments, then assembled into single ladders. They may also be segmented systems using several individual step segments attached to the tree. When using single or segmented ladder systems, secure all ladder straps or ropes to the tree that you can safely reach from the ground. Be sure your ladder is secured to the main trunk of a healthy tree and avoid interference from branches or vines. When climbing to secure the upper straps or segments, always wear your fall restraint system with the recommended lineman-style hookup. This allows you to use both hands to securely attach your climbing system. Your Lyman-style belt should slide to allow you to easily move as you climb or descend the tree. And if you should fall, the Lyman's belt will grip the tree, holding you in place or slowing your descent. Never disconnect your Lyman's belt while climbing. This hunter chose the smarter option of a ladder system. And it looks as if he also chose the right spot.
There's a buck on the right.
All right, Corey. All right. Nice deer.
The all-in-one ladder-type tree stand presents another hunting option, but must always be erected using 3 persons. When used and installed properly, they are no more or less dangerous than correctly using a household stepladder. However, using this type of stand presents a significant risk because there's no reasonable means to be attached to the tree while ascending and descending the ladder. First, the erected ladder must be secured by the stabilizing brace and cross straps prior to anyone climbing up the ladder. Next, 2 persons must hold and support the ladder against the tree while the 3rd person carefully climbs to the top. The climber must immediately attach their fall restraint system to the tree and then secure the platform. The vast majority of accidents involving ladder stands occur while putting up and taking down this type of tree stand. And finally, always properly use your fall restraint system while in your ladder stand. Climbing tree stands offer a popular option because they don't require a separate climbing system. It is essential you follow manufacturer's instructions and practice climbing and descending with this type of stand until you become familiar with the mechanics of using your tree stand and fall restraint to inchworm up and down the tree. Climbing tree stands are best suited for straight, healthy trees free of branches and loose bark. Also, be sure to connect both the upper and lower sections of your climbing stand with a lanyard or strap. This should prevent the lower section from dropping down beyond your immediate control. It's important to position most climbing stand platforms with the outer edge slightly above horizontal before you begin your climb. This compensates for the narrowing of the tree trunk as you ascend. As always, wear and use your fall restraint system when ascending or descending. Simply slide the tether line connecting the belt up or down the tree as you move. This only adds seconds to the climbing process. Hang-on tree stands offer you another option and are popular in many areas. These stands require that you use a separate climbing system such as segmented ladders or steps. When attaching your hang-on stand, follow your manufacturer's instructions and wear your fall restraint device. This is where a Lyman's type belt is mandatory and makes movement easier. It allows you to use both hands to properly hang your stand and greatly reduces fatigue. Beware that a large percentage of tree stand related falls occur when hanging or removing hang-on type stands. Hang-on tree stands have a variety of attachment methods, such as chains, nylon belts, cables, or ratchet straps. Also, most hang-on tree stands require that you firmly seat the tree stand solidly in place with downward pressure, a pull-down cam action, or a locking screw. Consult the directions that came with your stand. When attaching your hang-on stand, make sure to hang it so that you can step down from your climbing system onto the center of the stand. It's vitally important that you don't leave your tree stand or climbing system attached to a tree for more than 2 weeks. Trees grow and increase in circumference. Attachment systems are put under a heavy tension load when attached to the tree. If left on the tree for a long period of time, the tree will grow in circumference and may cause the belts, chains, or buckles to be stressed beyond tolerances. The attachment system may fail when you add your weight to the tree stand or climbing system, resulting in a fall. It's also important to inspect your tree stand system before you go hunting and regularly throughout the season. Make sure that all components of your fall restraint system are in good working condition. If you are uncertain about the condition of any element of your tree stand or fall restraint system, call the manufacturer. Hunt with the rest of your life in mind, like this hunter. Now we're ready to climb up to that tree stand. But first, you must always wear and properly use your fall restraint device from the moment you touch your tree to the moment you leave it. Remember to use a fall restraint system with a lineman's belt that allows you to climb while tethered to the tree. Once your hang-on type tree stand is installed, attach a commercially produced Mountaineer type safety rope, complete with prusik knot and loop, to the tree at head level above the stand, and secure the other end at ground level. Be sure to properly attach your fall restraint device to the climbing safety rope before leaving the ground. Attach your tether line to the movable prusik knot and slide it up or down the rope with you as you move. This movable knot allows you to be securely attached to the rope while you ascend and descend your climbing system and when you enter and leave your stand. This unique knot slides when not under a load and binds when a load is applied. Slide the prusik knot up the mountaineering rope with you. Should you fall while climbing, the knot will bind and arrest your fall. Let's now review the correct procedure for getting into your tree stand. When climbing, use smooth, non-jerky movements. Use the three-point contact climbing method where you always maintain 2 hands and 1 foot or 2 feet and 1 hand in constant contact with your climbing system. Never use tree branches as a foot or handhold when climbing. This is one of the deadliest mistakes you can make when climbing. Even if the branch appears solid, don't touch it, not even for balance. When entering a hang-on type tree stand, first climb slightly above the tree stand and while securely tethered to the tree with your fall restraint system, transfer from your climbing system to the stand platform by stepping down from your climbing system onto the center of your stand. When you are positioned in your tree stand, adjust and secure the length of the tether line of your fall restraint system so there is no slack when you're in the sitting position. For safety's sake, always remain in the relative center of your stand platform. Never lean out using your fall restraint system for balance in an attempt to trim branches or to get a possible shot. This may cause you to fall or cause the stand to shift. Also, never attempt to stand on top of your tree stand seat or use it for support when climbing. Here's the safe way to pull up your gear. Bows, guns, heavy packs, or other gear should be pulled up or lowered on the opposite side of the tree from your climbing system. This will reduce the risk of striking your equipment if you fall when climbing, and the equipment from striking the climbing system. When pulling up your bow, make sure the arrow quiver hood is pointed up. When lowering your bow, make sure the quiver hood is pointed down and lowered to the opposite side of the tree from your climbing system. When you're pulling up and lowering your firearm, make doubly sure it's unloaded, actions open, muzzle loaders uncapped. Never tie the rope in or near the trigger guard. Tie the pull-up rope in such a fashion that the muzzle points level or downward. If your gun is uncased, cover the muzzle to keep it free of dirt, water, or snow. Watch how safe tree stand hunting helps this young hunter on his first whitetail hunt.
Here comes deer.
Freeze to death.
All your scouting and tree stand tactics have finally paid off, and you've just taken a big game animal from your tree stand. You can get excited later, but now is the time to remain collected in your thoughts and actions as you prepare to safely descend from your tree stand. First, unload your gun or bow and lower it on the opposite side of the tree from your climbing system. Arrow quivers and firearm muzzles should be pointed in a safe downward direction. Next, readjust your fall restraint system to allow you to climb down while tethered to the tree or your mountaineering safety rope. Carefully step from the center of your stand to your climbing system. Slowly and carefully descend using the same safety principles as climbing. Once your feet are on the ground, unhook your fall restraint system. Your friends at the National Bowhunter Education Foundation and Tree Stand Manufacturers Association want all of your hunts to be filled with success and fond memories. So follow these extra tips for a safe and rewarding tree stand experience. Before you go hunting, practice shooting your bow or gun while wearing your fall restraint system from an elevated stand. Many fatal hunting accidents happen during low light conditions. So always use a flashlight when entering or leaving the woods in low light conditions to clearly identify you as a human. Also, carry basic survival items with you, such as an emergency whistle, a cell phone, or two-way radio. Carry them on your person and not in an inaccessible pack. Make sure other responsible people know where you're hunting and when to begin looking for you if you fail to return on time. Hunt with a buddy and hunt with a plan that involves checking on one another. Be aware of the location of other hunters for safety and to be courteous afield. Never place a tree stand or climbing device on power or telephone poles or near electric transmission lines. Avoid using tree stands during high winds, rain, snow, icy conditions, or electrical storms, or anytime weather conditions are unsafe. Never attempt to use a tree stand or climbing system when under the influence of medications, drugs, or alcohol, including over-the-counter medications that may cause drowsiness. Don't hunt from a tree stand when sleepy. If you fall, try not to panic. If you're properly wearing your fall restraint system and the tether line is snug, you should be able to get back onto the stand or climbing device. If you weren't wearing a fall restraint, You just hit the ground. Don't move without first testing your reflexes or assessing for any possible injuries. Quickly signal for help with your cell phone, two-way radio, or your whistle. Always seek professional medical attention immediately after a fall. Don't let false pride jeopardize your life. Internal injuries are common among fall victims and may not always be apparent at the time of the fall.
We've shared a lot of information with you and shown you techniques of how to be a safe user of elevated stands and climbing devices. It is now your responsibility to put that information into practice. Don't be a statistic of 1 out of 3 hunters falling out of a stand. It is your responsibility to enjoy yourself, to be safe, and have a great hunting experience. Hope to see you in the field.
Contact your local hunter and bow hunter education instructors to find out how you can learn more about safe and responsible hunting practices. For more information on how you can become certified by taking the International Bowhunter Education Program, or learn which tree stand manufacturers are TMA certified, call the National Bowhunter Education Foundation at 406-266-3237 or visit their website, www.nbef.org. And finally, share this video and the lessons you've learned with your hunting friends.